What's up YouTube? It is me, Smoothgrilledc, and today we're going to be taking a look at some monostable circuits. So a circuit is monostable if it has only one stable output state. Basically that means it goes out to one point and it's not random. We're going to jump right into it. So first up is the pulse limiter. Basically what this does is it reduces the duration of long pulses. It makes the pulse short. You can see that the stone button, which has a 10-tick pulse, is cut drastically. So the input from the button runs into this block, into the repeater, into the output, but the piston extends and it's cut short. So let's go ahead and build one of these. So here's your input. You're going into a piece of redstone dust, a sticky piston with the block. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. With the block and a repeater, taking the signal out of the block into our output. It's as simple as that. Now, I tried to make two examples of each one of these, but the pulse limiter, I couldn't get any of the other ones to work on Bedrock. I thought that the dropper hopper one worked, but I couldn't get it to work. It was just giving me a regular pulse. So if you guys know of any other pulse limiters, leave them down in the comments so I can check them out. Next up is the pulse extender, and basically it increases the length of shorter pulses. So it's the opposite of the pulse limiter. So when I hit the button, it's extended. This one is just a repeater. I have it set to 4 ticks. That qualifies as a pulse extender. This one is just a comparator line, and it extends the pulse dramatically. So the input is running into these comparators, and the comparators run into a block, and the block powers our redstone lamp as an output. So I'm not going to build the repeater one, it's just a repeater. But this one is our input. We're going to take it into some redstone dust, and then we're going to grab some comparators. We'll put 3 this way, wrap that around. Let's do 3 this way, and then let's run that into a block. Put our redstone lamp right there, and you've got a pulse extender. Our next item is the pulse multiplier. Multipliers, they produce multiple outputs from a single input. So this input will activate our redstone dust, and when it's powered, the observer will send an output, and then when it's unpowered, it'll send another output. This one is made by splitting the circuit. So our input will go through this limiter and create an output, and then it will also go, the input will also go through this extender and create a second output. These are really handy in making piston stuff, and they're really simple to build. So this first one, we're making our input and redstone dust. We'll put an observer into the redstone dust, and then just bring it out. This next one is really simple as well. It's just a limiter. Let me grab a button. So here's our input. We're going to bring that into a sticky piston to make the limiter. I need a repeater. And bring that to an output. We'll bring our redstone dust over and we'll put 3 repeaters. We're going to just set them to 4 ticks of delay just for demonstration. And we're going to bring that into our output. So the limiter gives you your first output and your extender gives you your second output. So next up is the pulse divider, which it makes output pulse after a specific number of inputs. So it has multiple inputs for one output. This one is 5. It might be in the middle of a cycle. Nope. It was right on time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inputs gets the output. So basically it's a redstone signal running into this hopper dropper loop, and when the item cycles through the dropper, it's read by the comparator and gives you an output. So every time you hit it, it moves 1. This one is a little more complicated, and I think I have it set to 8. Yeah, I have it set to 8 items. So let's see if I can get it in a way where you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, let's go ahead and build these. So this one is like that. We're going to put our input right here. Does it have redstone on it? It sure does. So your redstone. We'll have a torch underneath that third block and on the side of it. And then we're going to create our hopper dropper loop. So the dropper goes right there, and then your hoppers run into it. 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I'm gonna make this so I have something to crouch on. This one always, it always like glitches out the first time you place it. And then a comparator running out into redstone dust. I always place them the wrong way first. And then our output gets redstone lamp. Alright, now we're going to place one item in our dropper, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Okay, so it was on one extra because we placed it in the dropper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this one is a little more complicated. We have our input right there. Let's see. And the 2 droppers. Two droppers facing into each other with a block on this side. Our 2 comparators going into the hoppers. Then a block on the side of this hopper and a comparator reading that block. I always place them wrong first. Comparator reading that block into a block and into a repeater. Let's see, is that repeater getting any delay? No delay. And then our output. So now there's no items in these hoppers. Oh no, there's one non-stackable item in these hoppers. So let's grab a sword. Put a non-stackable item in the hoppers. And let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items in the droppers. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get our output. So now we're gonna do a rising edge detector. An edge detector produces an output pulse when it detects a specific edge of an input pulse, and rising edge is when the power turns on, the beginning of an on pulse or the end of an off pulse. So here we've got the rising edge detector. It comes on at the beginning of the pulse. Over here we've got the same thing, but it's just kind of, so this is I forget what they're called, a dust breaker or something of that nature. So it activates, and this piston pushes this block over, and it cuts off the signal. And over here we've got the signal running into these repeaters, into this block and this piston, and when the piston pushes the block, it cuts it off. So we've got the rising edge detectors. Let's go ahead and build these. So we need sticky piston. So we build up a block and a block up like that. Put our input right there. Both get redstone dust. and then those go into, I think, 3 blocks right here. Yeah, 3. Then it goes up a block. And then this is where it gets cut off by this piston. And then the signal just gets carried to an output. So this one is really simple too. It's just, I think it's like that. Yeah. Just an input, redstone dust, 2 repeaters, a sticky piston. Get rid of these. The block that cuts off, and your output. Rising edge detectors are also, well, these ones at least are also limiters. So these ones are your falling edge detectors, and what the falling edge is when the power turns off. It's the end of the on pulse or the beginning of an off pulse. So this one right here, you flick it on and it doesn't get an output, but when you flick it off, it gets an output at the end of the pulse. Same with this one. You flick it on and it doesn't get an output pulse, but you flick it off and it gets its output pulse. Let's go ahead and build these ones up. So here's our input, and that goes into a block into a repeater set to 3 ticks of delay. Nope, that's 4. 3 ticks of delay into redstone dust. Redstone dust here, here, and here. And then a sticky piston right here with a block right there. And our output. So when oh wait, and this isn't a button, is it? It's a lever. So when I turn it on, I think we need that. My bad. So when we turn it on, no pulse. When we turn it off, we get a pulse. So now this one is very similar. Lever for our input, and then we're going up 2 with the redstone dust, and then this one's set to 4 ticks of delay. Put that block back. Oh, forget to crouch. Put that block back. And then that runs into a sticky piston facing down. And our output. Why is there always a cow in my way? Just like that. So when we turn this on, no output, but as we turn it off, we get our output. So I hope you guys were able to get something out of this video. These monostable circuits are very handy and good to know. So I suggest watching this video a few times and building these themselves. Make your own redstone testing world and build these with me in the video. Rewind it if you have to. Just learn these because you will use them. So if you guys like this video, please leave a comment. And if you guys can find out any other pulse limiters that work on Bedrock, please let me know down in the comments. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification icon to get informed about new redstone videos I make. And you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.